meeting to order of law enforcement, public safety, health and welfare. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of July 16th, 2019?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, we got several items up for discussion. Update regarding alternative waste processing. I want to vary a little bit from our usual procedure before we get started too long. I want to bring Mr. Matt Durham up here, and he's the more you study into solid waste, the more you find out you know less. So he came by my shop. Come on up there where the big microphone is, or where they can hear you. Anyway, he's going to talk to us about burning C&D waste from our landfill. We don't have to bury it no more. And with the committee's permission, I'll turn it over to Mr. Durham. You're on.
As Wayne said, I'm Matt Durham. I live up in Mountain Rest. I know this committee and the council for years has been speaking about recycling issues and the solid waste problem we have, and the fact that we're just packing this stuff into a landfill. So I came with a solution, a possible solution for C&D landfill. So neighbors in Franklin County, Georgia, what they've done is they've just built two newly constructed 60 megawatt turbines that are burn C&D fuel the same as in a landfill. It's just wood, construction, demolition debris that ground up. Acts like a coal burner boiler. It burns off steam, turns a turbine. So these plants that they built in Georgia, they're base load plants, means they're going to run 24/7, and they're rated to burn 60 tons per hour. So that's 500,000 tons of waste per year per unit. They've got two of them. So the neat thing about them is, even though they're burning wood, they're considered renewable energy, and they're considered CO2 neutral. So the environmentalists, all that, they're happy with that. But it's my understanding by my research that they have not yet acquired all the fuel they need to be a baseload plant. So there's still contracts out there available. So what I'm here just proposing to you guys, that you reach out to them and say, hey, we got this C&D landfill. It's as close as can be. I mean, it's the next county over pretty much. And ship it down there to them and let them see if they'll buy it, and let's burn it, because it looks like they're looking for people. So pretty much we've been spending taxpayers' money to throw this stuff a hole in the ground, when maybe we could be making a profit on it. In worst case scenario, if you break even, you're still not just shoving it in the ground, filling up a landfill that eventually one day we're going to have to deal with. So yes, we need to reach out before the time closes. All these contracts get filled out. It'd been nice early on when this thing about building these plants. I mean, it's Franklin County. Demographics is the same as here. I know one problem they're having with the plant is they're having problems staffing it. Finding qualified people in Franklin County to work at it. It'd be nice if we had somebody ahead of time looking out economic development. Say, hey, let's try to get these plants in Oconee County. It's green energy, but that's both sell. But if you guys just want to keep talking and having meeting after meeting, then the boat's going to sell as well and being able to sell their waste. So I urge you to get active and reach out to these people. And I have contact information here. I can leave it with Wayne, or I can leave it with Ms. Brock, and you guys can reach out to them.
Thank you very much. Any questions, guys?
Super, thank you.
Give it to Ms. Brock.
Thank you so much.
Julie, you got any questions you want to ask? All right, John, Julie, you saying it'd be to entertain a motion to direct the administrator to reach out to these companies that he just talked about. I mean, I think we're looking at a good opportunity here to not have to be burying this stuff.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All right, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Okay. I want to thank Mr. Durham for taking his time out and coming forward. Also, I gave you all a bunch of information concerning different waste processing that's going on around the country. And I told Mr. Elliott before the meeting, the more I research this, the more I find out I don't know. the technology is not just, I thought it was just the Chinese, the technology is everywhere, and everybody's doing it. The question I have is, why aren't we doing it if everybody else is doing it? Sooner or later, we could all be sitting here, and it's just this article about Pickens County. All of a sudden, they had a little hiccup. It's full. We need to be on the proactive and not waiting. All of a sudden, they say there's been legislation coming down the line and not yet passed, but coming, and we don't have any way of dealing with the solid waste and the garbage and everything. And then somebody else comes in, well, I've got the license, I've already got a license to do it, and now you're gonna pay me. And we're gonna have to raise taxes and everything. There's no, I would like to entertain another motion, because we can't do it on our own, even though we'd like to direct the administrator to look into some of these options. City of Cincinnati, other cities are getting rid of the garbage, selling it. Mr. Elliott brought up a valid point a couple of weeks ago with me on the phone. He said, you can't sell it, give it away. You ain't burying it. So I would like to have a motion to direct the administrator to look into this and try with her busy schedule to try to get back to us as soon as possible. So we're not just, as Mr. Durham said, we'll put it off till the next meeting. We'll put it off till the next meeting, that we're gonna do something about it now. It's better that we get on. Yes, I'm not gonna sit and say, we ain't gonna do it for free, but we're spending money on other things that we should be spending money on now, and this is solid waste, because when it backs up, and then we come dragging in with sheepy eyes, and we tell the taxpayers, well, we might have to raise your millage, I'll make something up, 5 mils to pay for this. And the taxpayers are looking, well, we're gonna, y'all ain't watching out for our money. You waited to the last minute. You're not representing us. You're just thinking about not doing what's right. Do I hear, somebody want to make that motion?
I make the motion.
I'll second it. I'm trying to understand, to give a little bit more closer directive, because I would look at two different things. If we made a, contact with some waste disposal, which would, the plan itself, to see there's a possibility that we could still look at doing a plant like that in Oconee County along with some other counties.
That's what we tried to do.
So if we kind of instruct that a little bit, to reach out and make some contact with some companies to talk about their product and what they can have, and let the administrator have that, would that be a little clarification on the motion?
We're going to have to get a plant of any size, this, for the money. We're going to have to partner with Pickens and Anderson.
Yep.
Because you can spend a lot of money on a little old thing. Oh, it'll get us by, but it won't do it. It will. But for the little bit, for a small amount of money, you're talking about 20% difference. We get something to handle Pickens and Anderson, then you start reaching out and you say, now we've got the plant. Now you come to us. It'll help us offset our costs. That satisfy you, Julia?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I'm confused as to what the motion is.
Yeah, that's what I'm still, so I think
I want to make sure that I am able to do what I'm asked to do.
Right. So
I
I
don't know
think
if I'm being asked to look into Devon, plastic straws, paper straws. Machine-X is one of them.
No, I think,
I think the motion is for you to contact these companies that make these machines to get more information for us.
Yes.
right,
What
waste,
machine specifically? I
The,
have a
the
stack
30
of
we're
machines,
gonna-
and I'm not
be a
trying to be combative.
waste to energy plant.
Waste,
Waste
so
energy.
combustion.
Yeah.
Okay,
But we're-
that's not in the material I was given, so I'm sorry, I'm
Right.
But we're
confused.
but what we want to do is, we want to look at what technologies out there available, and how rapidly available is the technology for us and the cost. We gotta have to do something.
And from a state level, after that last meeting, where we talked to you, me and Mr. Elliott did meet with Senator Alexander to talk about what the state was doing, because it is a big state issue. Every county has the same issue of what they're doing. And we spoke about, waste-to-energy plants and how successful they are and how safe they are in the monitoring of those, the air quality of those plants. Because it is concern. I mean, there's some concern on all different sides of it. You talk about landfill gases, and we've spent millions of dollars trying to make sure the landfill gases are handled properly. And if you actually look at the waste-to-energy plants on how they're regulated, the actual waste or the steam that you see, it's not smoke. I know everybody says it's smoke coming off the plants, but it's steam that's generated. The air quality on there is extremely, extremely good. Sometimes it's better than what the actual air quality was originally. So kind of what you're talking about of how successful the processing has been, the processing methods are, it's extremely safe. It's almost safer than, it's hard to regulate as they call it, trash mountain, that we ship all our stuff over to right now. The air quality around those is not wonderful, obviously, because you're talking about rotted food and stuff that doesn't go away. So I think, to me, looking into that, but would be a waste-to-energy plant. It's a big education to kind of talk to people and understand that. I grew up, my grandparents had a farm, and they grew up, and that's what they did, is they burned their trash, and that's not what we're talking about here. This is a containment area that the release and the air released on there is extremely safe. And it is extremely regulated. It's more regulated than some of the industry coming off of there, and that's some of the complaints I've seen. A lot of overseas are using this. I know Mr. McCall has brought that up several times on those areas that they can't do anything with their trash besides take it out to sea, and that's not allowed anymore and shouldn't be allowed. But I
So
think,
part of the investigation would be those facts, Ms. Brock, about how clean the air is, because we'd have to educate ourselves and educate our citizens on the release of the steam.
See, the good thing, you're bringing the stuff in a single stream, we're bringing it in. All right, you bring it in, so now we've eliminated everybody, we want you to separate. We don't want you to separate nothing now. So you just throw it all in a bag, it goes in the belt. It's broken open. And it shows in some of this information in here, all of them basically the same. They spread it out. The first thing, the Walmart bags, they got a vacuum across the thing, it's sucking, the people sitting there, and the bags are going up. Pelletized bags, reuse it. It goes right on down the line. And the important thing is, you're only burning what you can't do nothing else with. You're not just trying to burn everything. Like the plastic, number 5 right now, plastic is bringing 25 cents a pound scrap. That's your top of your bottles. That's number 5. So we got a lot of opportunity here. Or the scary thing is, if we sit here long enough and they slam the door on us and we say, we got to do this, we got to do that. Then when you got to do, it's always more expensive. But we can't just keep letting it pile up and not do nothing and pile up. And hauling it to another state is certainly not the answer, ladies and gentlemen.
so can I clarify the motion if you're okay with this motion, Mr. McCall? So it would be to investigate a waste-to-energy plant as well as a location.
Let's go waste
for-
and recycling. let's
Yeah.
try to, if we
Well,
can't burn it.
Energy recycling,
Well, if we can't, if we're gonna burn it as a last resort, if we can take the plastic, sell it to somebody to grind it, pelterize it, and resell it, that'll be somebody else will be taking the stuff from us. If we can't do nothing else, like baby diapers and stuff, use the steam, you burn it, the steam coming off, that's called tramp steam after it goes through the turbine. You take the tramp steam back, heat the belt to dry the garbage out, to burn the more garbage.
so I guess along with that, if we're going on a recycling plant, as we call it, would you prefer it to be called a recycling plant? I mean, it's a waste energy recycling.
What do you think, John?
Waste energy and recycling plant, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with that.
To investigate the plant as well as a proposed location. And then the impact to the surrounding area.
Right,
And
education.
that could be from jobs to, how, they're extremely safe. I've done a lot of research before we stood up here. I know Mr. McCall has and Mr. Elliott has as well before we stood up here and brought something that, the trash is in our county now. I think a lot of people just think it just magically goes in those bins and goes away, and unfortunately, it does not do that.
Right.
And the areas that have gone to something like this, it's, they call it 100% recycling because they're making energy off of it, and it's a natural gas fired plant. Anyway, so I appreciate Mr. McCall bringing that up. I know probably
Well, seeing,
about 5,000 times you've talked about recycling, and
well, the C&D, Julian, the C&D, what Mr. Durham was talking about, it ain't got no natural gas, it just burn into wood. As fast as they can grind it, bring it in, burn it. And that's the good part. See, we ain't sending it to C&D. And one of the plants, he would burn it, get his license, they burn cross ties, which is a big pain in the neck to get rid of, but they do burn really hot when they do burn.
you want to read that motion as you got it there so we can get a,
For the administrator to investigate the feasibility of waste to energy and a recycling plant and proposed location with impacts to the surrounding area community and develop an education plan for that program.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, then we got discussion regarding expansion of general health care in Oconee County. Now, here's why we brought this up. I don't know where I brought it. I've been over with Ms. Brock. Give you example. You go to the hospital. You got any bill left over, or for some reason your insurance didn't pay, your insurance pays a little bit late. The hospital under Prisma Healthcare, it's their policy. This ain't nothing, this is their standard, the way they do it. They turn you to a collection agency, and they put a lien on your property. And I've got permission to use the name. Ask Dr. McGeorge, who sent the check to the wrong place, and what they did to him. He said the credit collection agency was not, he told him, yeah, it's like I done said, he said, you ain't sent it to the right place. So he said, use my name, I don't care. Okay. So the thing is, I talked to Mr. Elliott, and he said when he was in Spartanburg, they had health care over there. Charleston County, we've got the Sea Island, it used to be U.S. Public Health Sea Island, which would just deal with the commercial shrimpers and the crabbers and stuff, people involved in the marine industry and the waterfront. Now it's Sea Island Free Clinic. They got all these doctors at Hilton Head that volunteer their time, and it's 100% free 5 days a week. In Oconee County, we got, in my district, I know John has in his district, because his district not only covers the lake, it covers outlying rural areas. We got people that rather suffer from appendicitis or anything else because their mindset is, if I go to the hospital, or I'm gonna get a bill, and maybe I can't pay the bill. We we got a health department building, we got grants we can get, and there's no reason we owe it. I mean, you know, the primary purpose of county government is public safety, which is law enforcement. And then you got fire, and then you got public health, the health and welfare of the individuals, of the people that put us in office. We got a health department building down there. Thomas Alexander has gotten us a grant, or is it a grant or money? Which one was it?
I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir.
It was between 300,000 and 500,000.
I believe that was for the Rosa Clark, and it wasn't specific to that building, it was specific to that agency, if I'm not mistaken.
And then it was to them. But what is it we get if we move something to the county seat? Aren't we available for something
There was a
else?
potential grant available for Rosa Clark, but I do not believe the deadline for the grant award has come out yet.
And then we got, Joseph Sullivan is on the news. They've expanded their PA nursing program at Clemson University. So the resources of people going into the nursing and physician assistants field is a big boom to us because they're right. But we need to get something going for the citizens of the county. It's something that we just owe the older people. For me,
In Spartanburg County, Wayne, the churches organized, it's called St. Luke's Free Clinic. And they got doctors and they've got dentists to volunteer, much like what you were talking about, their time, and also some of the pharmacies chip in. And they've got an actual pharmacy on the premises where a volunteer pharmacist will come and dispense medicine for free if it's needed. So, I mean, that was a church-wide effort in Spartanburg County. Realize that Spartanburg County is a much larger population-wise county than Oconee County. But it was all volunteer, organized by churches in Spartanburg County.
do you think we could get something like that with the cooperation of the county facilities? Is that something?
I don't think we want to get involved in that. Did you speak with any leadership at Prisma Health about the issues that you're seeing?
Yeah, that's a policy.
But I mean, did you sit down and talk to them about the issues that,
And look, when it came from Greenville Hospital to Prisma,
their policy is to turn somebody over to collections that doesn't?
and so, hey, look, for me, I don't care. I'm VA. I got health care for the rest of my life.
Because what I've seen, there has been a change in their billing system. I will agree with that. But generally speaking, when you go in, they tell you what your health insurance will pay, and then they send you a bill. And in that bill, there's a packet in there that talks about, financial aid or payment plans or things like that before it gets to the point of the collections. As in liens, I would be willing to reach out to them and talk to them about
All right, here's,
the process, so that way we understand, because we can't bash an organization if we don't understand what the process is, because I agree with you that even when somebody has insurance, there is money that's due, but we need to talk about that policy on that. But there is a lot of good free clinics that are around here, Rosa Clark being one of those, doing massive expansion, and then Oconee or Prisma Health has made one over there. So, and they're doing a phenomenal job. I don't think we should go jump into repeating what's already being done in Oconee County.
well, we got people out there in the field. John's got them in his thing. They worked in the mill all their life. They don't know anything else. And we're not gonna turn, I'm not gonna turn my back
I'm not turning my
on these
back.
people.
I'm not turning, that's not in any way, shape, or form what I'm saying.
Look at all the free stuff we got going in Charleston County, and we still got Sea Island Free Clinic. That's supported by the county, Pickett's County. You go by there, you go down there, when I go by the, pick up plant prints from USDA, I go right by Pickett's County Health Department. It's packed with people.
let me ask you this, would you be in favor of me, I'd be glad, like I have plenty of time, but I'll have a meeting with Prisma Health and I'll have a meeting with the other free clinics by the next Law Enforcement, Health and Welfare Committee meeting and bring,
Well, you talk to whoever you want to, but I'm not gonna sit by and have people that put me in office, and the least I can do is say, look, we got a big Oconee County Health Department written on the building down there. Now, it doesn't say, maybe we help you, maybe we don't. We owe it to the people of the county to watch out for their health and well-being. You go in the store, and it's not just healthcare. You go in the store, the grocery store down there, and you see this lady, and she's overweight, but she's buying all the wrong stuff and piling it in her cart. Well, then, these kind of people need help. The other thing is, you've got 5 pain clinics that got closed over in Greenville. All these people from these pain clinics, they're over here, they're everywhere. Well, guess what? They can't get their pills no more. These people need our help to get off or break the opioid or whatever drug habit cycle they're locked into right now. This is something that we as a council or we as a county government, these people might not be what we consider premier people, but they're still people and they deserve our care. Smoking, vaping, and everybody's got lung conditions from smoking and vaping. We owe these people. How can we get these people off this? Because sooner or later, they're going to overburden our system and they're going to overburden law enforcement when you start breaking into everything, trying to steal so you get some more pills off the street. That's what we're after. I got my own selfish reasons to get these people help. Everybody's a human being and everybody needs help. That's the whole point of this.
Ron, I just don't want to duplicate what's already going on out there. And maybe we can help in other ways rather, because what you're proposing is extremely expensive. And if it's a duplication of efforts, that's all I want to do. If you allow me to do that, I'd be glad to bring that back. What's our next meeting?
Have at it.
17th,
October?
September. This evening's meeting was a special COB meeting. Ms. Chin was supposed to come. Maybe she can come the 17th.
But we see,
I'll get it in there.
but what's frustrating is we
If you'll
have all
put
this
that,
money.
if you'll allow to put that on there, I'll be glad to bring that back. And maybe I can have organizations that do that if that's. That's good. Okay.
I just think we owe it to our, if you can't watch out for the people that can't watch out for themselves, then, you say, oh, well, you can do this. We don't mind, and this is a big.
But there's only so much the government can do on that standpoint. That's the hard part about it is I agree with you because my heart goes out to that as well with everything that I do. So I don't feel like in any way we're leaving people hanging out there. I just think maybe we need to look at what's going on, what can be improved, and if we got an issue like what you're talking about, let's bring that issue up and understand what that is. But there is, I know with, Prisma, there is ways to reach out and understand before it goes to that lean stuff. I agree with you. I mean, it can go that far, but.
Well, if you're too scared, these people are proud.
Yeah, but
we don't have trouble at all spending $60,000 on a bicycle race. That's what irritates me. These poor people, I'm not gonna be part of the system because I'm covered. All right, if I wasn't covered, I still got the money to be covered. But the people that, you go in the grocery store, you see a little kid, smile, she got rotten teeth. Why is this kid is gonna have monumental health problems, their teeth abscess, blood poisoning. That's the ones I worry about. I don't worry about me, I don't worry about my brother. I'm worried about the people that come up to you and they're looking for somebody. Maybe they don't know how to look for help. It's the same as a person that's on opioids. Yeah, they need our help, and that's what I'm out after. It's just a shame that we live in a society, and now, John's got another problem I'll bring up in the future in his area. I'd love to pick on John. Is he's got people in his area, communities, they get old. And a couple of weeks ago, this lady in Kiwi-Key, she has no family, her husband's dead. So she has to give it, she's invalid, becoming invalid. So she just gave all her furniture away and had to move into assisted living way over in Greenville. So she's lost everything. She lost her husband, all her friends. In the future, we need to look at somehow encouraging assisted living health care around the retirements communities up around, you got the upscale, and around here. For the average person, you know, these people in Kiwi-Key, they got their own community. Whether you like to say it or not, yes, they have their own community, it's fine. They pay a hell of a lot of money to be in that community. But when they get invalid and old, and all of us gonna do it, then they would like to be an assisted living environment to where they can still see their friends that they were retired around and not be shipped off to the warehouse. That's a Costa Rican term we use in Central America, send them to the warehouse. And away from their friends. And this is something that I'm trying to get, why aren't we encouraging through our economic development assisted living organizations to come into this area? We got the aging population, and up where John is part of his revenue, they can sure afford it, but they don't have the commodity, the advantage to be retiring and be amongst their friends, is what I'm trying to say. And that's something we need to look at in the future. Anyway, so much for my tirade.
Good, you still got 3 minutes?
I'm going to have, I don't use John for too many examples. I made fun of him riding a Coburg cow, so. Right, is anything else? All right, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, we out.